Russia and Iran stress that allegations about the use of chemical weapons by Syrian authorities in Damascus countryside is a provocative act planned in advance. A large number of terrorists killed during army operations in Damascus, Aleppo and Homs. An Egyptian court rules that President Mubarak be put under house arrest. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Yarado Krikorian with the news in English. The Russian Foreign Ministry has stressed that the allegations about the Syrian authorities' use of chemical weapons in Damascus countryside may be a provocative act that was planned in advance. The Foreign Ministry's spokesman, Alexander Lukashevich, said biased regional media outlets immediately started an aggressive media attack, holding the Syrian government fully responsible as if they had received an order to do so. He added that the timing of these allegations is not a coincidence, as they started with the beginning of the UN experts' mission on investigating probable chemical weapons use in Syria. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Jawad Zareef has declared that the Syrian government cannot be responsible for a possible attack with chemical weapons on Damascus suburbs. Zareef's statements came during a telephone call with his Turkish counterpart Ahmed Dawood. Zareef asked, how can the Syrian government resort to such measure while UN inspectors are in Damascus and the Syrian Arab Army continues to inflict defeats on the terrorists? Zareef said, if the use of chemical weapons is proved, the terrorist groups will be certainly decide to use them, as it has been confirmed that they do not hesitate to commit any crime, and because it is in their interest to internationalize the crisis in Syria. Zareef added that the Syrian government has condemned the incident and his country was conducting contacts with it to study the various dimensions of this incident. Chairwoman of the UN Security Council, the Ambassador of Argentina, Maria Cristina Percival, who is chairing the UN Security Council this month, has said the members of the Council wanted to reveal the truth about the allegations on the use of chemical weapons in Damascus countryside, and they welcomed UN investigation in this regard. Following a consultations session of the UN Security Council, Percival said, the truth about what had happened must be revealed and the situation must be closely pursued. The General Command of the Army and Armed Forces had stressed in a statement yesterday that the allegations about the Syrian Arab Army's use of chemical weapons in Al-Ghouta are absolutely baseless and are part of the dirty media warfare on Syria. The Minister of Information on his part has also stressed that the reports circulated by Al Jazeera, Al Arabiya, Sky News and other channels involved in shedding Syrian blood are but an attempt to distract the Investigation Committee on Chemical Weapons away from its tasks. A mortar shell launched by terrorists in Al-Abbasiyin residential area, killing a woman and causing material damages. The Syrian Arab Army carried out qualitative operations in Jobar and Al-Qabun areas in Damascus, relying on accurate information about the main headquarters of the terrorists. Army units broke into these areas and started bombarding their sites, especially between Al-Manashir and Al-Dawar al-Janubi. Our armed forces and the border guard personnel killed and injured a number of terrorists who tried to infiltrate from Lebanon to Talkalakh countryside across Al-Madhoumeh and Al-Msherfa sites and destroyed their weapons. An armed terrorist group was eliminated near Al-Walid complex and Awqaf building in Jurat al-Shayyah and Al-Hamidiyya neighborhood and near Al-Bur hospital in Al-Wa'ar neighborhood. Another army unit clashed with an armed terrorist group tried to infiltrate from Al-Wa'ar Grooves to Al-Qarabis neighborhood, inflicting heavy losses upon it. Army units confronted terrorist attack against military checkpoints in Al-Masabigh neighborhood area and at Taoun village in Al-Hule, killing a number of terrorists and injuring others. Our army units killed and wounded a number of terrorists in Aleppo countryside, destroying their weapons and ammunitions, which included heavy machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades in the village of Aquaris. An official source pointed out that other units targeted terrorists who were committing acts of theft and robbery on Al-Mislmiya Aleppo Road. In cooperation with the locals, the competent authorities arrested a terrorist group of 4 members as they were trying to kidnap a boy in Al-Hasaka city. An official source told Sana reporter that a terrorist group was ambushed in Al-Nashwa neighborhood in Al-Hasaka city, pointing out that this group had already kidnapped citizens for money. In Egypt, the Egyptian military authorities have released former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak after being acquitted in the case of Al-Ahram presence, the last corruption case he was detained for. Mubarak was placed under house arrest due to the state of emergency in the country. On the other hand, the Tanta court has decided to detain 21 members of the Muslim Brotherhood for 15 days pending investigation on charges of instigating killing and acts of violence. The Egyptian authorities also arrested the Muslim Brotherhood's spokesman Ahmed Arif in Al-Nasr city. Now the latest business and market news, but after a short break. Stay tuned.